Welcome back, adventurers. Today's story is of the dinosaur who lost his roar. Now, many years ago, dinosaurs existed. There are Triceratops, Stegosauruses, T-Rexes. In fact, these three were the best of friends. He had Terry the T-Rex, Tim the Triceratops, and Sally the Stegosaurus. Now, one day when these guys were playing with each other, Terry turned to the other two and said, "I've lost my roar." Sally and Tim grinned. "You can't lose your roar," they said. "Well, I have," said Terry. "Well, prove it then," said Sally. So Terry took in a big breath, puffed out his chest, opened his mouth, and nothing came out. Tim and Sally looked at each other. "Oh," they said. "You really have lost your roar," they said together. "Yeah," said Terry. "I just don't know where to find it." "Well," said Tim, "we should go on an adventure to find it then. Come on!" So off Terry, Sally and Tim went to find Terry's roar. As Terry, Tim and Sally walked through the forest, they came across Percy the pterodactyl. He was hanging upside down on a tree. Now, pterodactyls don't normally hang upside down on trees, but Percy said it helped him think. So when Percy saw Terry, Tim and Sally coming towards him, he stuck out a wing and waved. "Guys! Hey guys!" he shouted down to them. "Percy!" Sally said. "Percy, can you help us?" "Yeah! What guys need help on?" he asked. "Well," Tim said, "Terry's lost his roar." "Terry's lost his roar?" Percy asked. Tim looked down. "Yeah," he said, "I can't find my roar anywhere." Said Percy, beginning to think. "Have you seen his roar?" asked Sally. "Well," Percy started to tap his chin and thought, "I haven't seen a roar round here," he said. "Oh," said Terry. "But," Percy said, carrying on, "I do know a way to find a roar." "You do?" asked Tim. "Of course! Everyone knows hanging upside down in trees helps find roars." "Hanging upside down?" asked Terry. "Of course! Roars fall right out of you hang upside down." "Okay," said Terry, and up he went the tree with Sally and Tim to hang upside down. They were all hanging there for a while, until Sally turned to Terry and said, "Have you found your roar yet?" Terry took a big breath in, puffed up his chest, opened his mouth, and nothing came out. But as he let out his big breath, he lost his balance and fell from the tree, landing very heavily on his bottom. "Oh," said Terry as he fell out the tree. Tim and Sally rushed down to help him. "Are you okay?" they asked. "Yeah, I still haven't found my roar," said Terry. "Don't worry, I'm sure you'll find your roar somewhere." "Thanks, Percy," cried Sally. So they went on their way through the forest, carrying on their adventure, finding Terry's roar. So they carried on through the forest, singing dinosaur songs and keeping themselves happy playing little games. But soon they found another dinosaur, Dippy the Diplodocus, who had a very long neck. Now, as they came across her, Sally cried out, "Dippy! Dippy, can you help us?" Dippy looked down to the dinosaurs. "Why, of course," she said. "What do you need my help with?" "Well," said Sally, "Terry's lost his roar." "Lost his roar?" asked Dippy. "Yeah," Terry said, "I just can't find it anywhere." "Do you know a way to find a roar?" asked Tim. "Well," Tippy paused for a moment before adding, "Stretching's always helped me find a Rawr. Stretch long enough and hard enough, and I'm sure one will come eventually." "Okay, then," said Terry. "Let's try that then." So Sally grabbed his arms, and Tim grabbed his feet, and they pulled and they pulled and they pulled. After a while, Tim said, "Have you found your Rawr yet?" So Tim took a big breath in, opened his mouth, and nothing came out. But as he let a big breath out, Tim and Sally let go of him, and he went whooshing up into the air. And when he came down, he smacked his nose on the floor. "Oh," cried Terry. "Oh, I'm never gonna find my Rawr." He sounded a bit muffled, for the fact he'd just hurt his nose on the ground. Tim and Sally ran over to him. "Are you okay?" they cried. "Have you found your Rawr yet?" "No," said Terry miserably. "I haven't." "It's okay, little one," said Dippy. "You'll find your Rawr eventually." "Thanks, Dippy," they cried, and they carried on with the search for Terry's Rawr. They searched all day long to find Terry's Rawr, in trees, in bushes, under rocks, and even in holes. But Terry's Rawr still couldn't be found. They sat down by the rocks by the river and started talking, for where could Terry's Rawr be? They were so deep in conversation, they didn't notice Pepper the Plagiasaurus was coming up right behind them. She jumped out of the water, scaring the poor dinosaurs. And in fright, Terry let out a noise. "Rawr!" he said. All the dinosaurs looked at him. "Terry!" cried Tim and Sally. "We found your Rawr! You had it all along!" Terry looked at Pepper. Pepper smiled. "Well, I heard you looking for your Rawr," she said. "A good scare always finds a dinosaur's Rawr." Terry smiled. He looked from Pepper to Sally to Tim. "Thank you," he cried. Thank you so much." So Terry took a big breath in, puffed out his chest, opened his mouth, and let out a big roar. So Tim, Sally and Terry roared all night long, because finding a dinosaur's Rawr is really important.
Oh, the dinosaurs, big as trees. The dinosaurs, brains like peas, jaws and claws and teeth and bone, that used to growl and groan and moan.